Now let's get lively. Gather round, let's sort the buyers from the spies, the needy from the greedy, and those who trust me from those who don't. Eddie Murphy, fuck you!
Get the fuck out of here. Man, you fight with nobody.
Best of all time, and before time was even created.
Follow me, Hunt. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. Don't be scared, homie.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Grab his dick and twist it.
Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude.
You twist that dick.
Twist this dick!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed time for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching along at home. This is the Eggplant Tornado podcast, the fight podcast for the common man. We're coming at you live over Zoom. It's early in the morning, but we are here as always, and with me as always is the man, the myth, the legend, the Griff. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Oh, doing pretty well. Not complaining, you know. Excited. Good weekend of fights. A lot of shit to talk about. You can't go wrong, really.
Huge weekend to preview as well. And joining us, rounding out the trio, is the prediction wizard himself and a being made of pure logic. Frumi, how you doing this morning, bud?
Pretty good, boys. Pretty good. Just fucking waiting on the call.
That's it, man. Fucking Frumi starting work late this morning, which allowed us to not only record this morning, but allowed us to go live over on YouTube.
Oh, well, while you're there, you might as well hit like, subscribe, share, fucking all that shit. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, fucking we're everywhere. We're fucking everywhere. Spotify, Apple. Get fucking behind us.
Just segues on automatic. Like,
fucking
just get clicking this morning.
Get right behind us.
Alrighty. So, like you said, we had a pretty big weekend of fights, and we've got a pretty huge weekend to break down, like with only one event, but it's a big fucking event. So what do we have in store for the people here today, Griff?
Stock standard. Believe it or not. That's right, I said believe it or not. And we'll roll over into some breakdowns from the weekend. So we're going to go over the Aussie boy. I can come up short, but we'll get into that. Wilson versus Navarette. Then we'll go over into the boxing card from the Sunday, which is Serrano versus Cruz, Baumgardner versus Mekhaled. Some would call it a Baumgardner, but just whatever really tickles your fancy. And then
Someone do that considering it's her actual fucking name.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a Aum in it. Like there's an A. So I don't know.
I mean,
Suspect.
It does suit her.
Doesn't it? And then we also had the UFC card on the weekend.
On display like a garden.
Say it again.
Just that bum on display like a garden.
Yeah.
Just hanging out on display.
There was a part of the fights where there was fucking shit going down, and I didn't know what was happening. We had UFC card Lewis versus Spivak, I believe his name is, the polar bear versus
We did.
Big Critty. I don't know. I got a lot to say about Lewis, and I don't think any of it's nice.
That's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. This weekend we've got UFC 284. Pretty stacked card, to be honest. But the main event
look like it, but it actually is.
It's a fun card, man. Like even some of the prelim fights are pretty fun. So I'll have to pull that up so I can fucking actually know what I'm talking about.
I haven't looked too much into that card, so
it's a good one.
New
it's
news,
a good one.
because like Dana hasn't done much promotion of that, but I guess we'll get to that later.
Exactly.
But the main event of that is Volkanovski versus Makhachev. So it's an interesting fight. Another Aussie boy going for another title. So, you know, you got to get behind the Aussie boys, even though I didn't. And then we'll roll out with some That Stands My Bernie. So yeah, we'll start off with a little Believe It or Not though. We
will. And we got some pretty big fucking news as of yesterday. So our first two news stories are pertaining to the same man. The Mac is fucking back.
Mystic Mac.
Conor McGregor will be going against Michael Chandler as the coach for season 31, I believe it is, of The Ultimate Fighter, with a fight date and venue to be determined later on in the year. You would probably think, so hang on, they've done up to 27, no, hang on, we're at 284, we're at 284 this weekend, and they've done up to 287, which is Adesanya versus Pereira, so you probably think 288, 289. Say again?
How long do them shows generally go for?
I don't know. I've never watched one.
A fair while. I could be talking out of my ass here, but I'm going to say about 8 weeks.
How does the system actually work?
So they'll have, I think it's 16 people go into this house. So 8 people per team, and then it's like an elimination type deal. So they pick like their sides, like everyone will line up. Probably Connor will pick first, he'll pick his first fighter. Chandler will pick his first fighter, vice versa. And then when you got your teams together, like the first fight is pretty much like, oh, we need the upper hand, so we'll put our best fighter in against their best fighter, and then whoever wins gets like that advantage. Like they pick the fight the following week. So it's a cool little setup. But
how does it work if like your team just keeps beating them?
They just run out of people, and then your team kind of segregates towards the end.
Oh right, yeah.
So you could have like, Connor could just pick a mad team, or Chandler could pick a mad team, and then their team kind of have like a whitewash, and then it's like Chandler's team versus Chandler's team in the final.
Yeah, right.
But this is Connor's second time coaching. He coached against Uriah Faber a couple of years back now. But this is going to be real interesting because you can imagine Connor's going to come back as like the villain, and Chandler's Chandler. Like he's like the nicest person in the world. So it's just going to be a fun back and forth, I feel.
It's going to be very interesting. I don't think Chandler's intimidated by Connor in any way.
I don't think Chandler's intimidated by fucking anything.
No, you wouldn't be. Look at the size of the cunt.
Mm.
Like when you walk around looking like that, it's just like, who the fuck are you afraid of? And then more to the point, when you could just like grab that person by the torso and just slam them into the concrete.
Yeah.
He doesn't even like to do that though. He just likes to fucking throw hands.
Yeah, it's just so strange because he's got a good wrestling like pedigree.
Like he's not going to go in there to fucking like try and take McGregor down and fucking wrestle him. He's going to go in there to try and knock him the fuck out, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, it's interesting because like,
especially the first rounds are very interesting.
Oh fuck yeah,
because they're so explosive, and McGregor's coming back from how long out now? Like
2 years, something like that.
Like yeah, you can spar, but like no one in sparring is going to come at you the way Chandler's exploding in them first, 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah. I honestly feel like this fight will be whoever lands the first clean shot takes the fight. Like it's so hard to pick because both of them have, like you said, that explosive power in the first, but Connor's just got that fucking like precision, especially in like the opening round. If he cracks it, it's game on.
I was going to say like that could be like Chandler's downfall though, because like McGregor has that timing. Where he could just tag fucking Chandler rushing in at like something just because Chandler fucking is just crazy. He just rushes in at whatever the fuck he wants to rush in at.
Yeah, I reckon Connor will be like trying to pick him off with that left straight as Chandler kind of comes in looping. That's such a fun fight, man.
Well, Poirier's fought both of them, and he still reckons McGregor hits harder.
Yeah, well, I feel like a couple of the people I've seen talk about it, it's like it's not even Connor's power, it's his like precision. Like you don't expect the shots to land and then you're just on your ass kind of thing. Like Nate said the same. Fuck, who else said the same? Who did he? 155. No. Alvarez? No.
Yeah, you could see it on Alvarez's face in the fight. Like
Eddie Alvarez. I fucking
like he did not know what the fuck had hit him, but he knew he'd been fucking hit. Like he said after the fight, like I didn't know what hit me, but I knew I'd been fucking whacked.
Yeah. There's been a few people that said it. It's like it's not even his power. It's just like the fact of like what the fuck just hit me. But I don't know. That's a fucking fun fight. Super fun.
It's probably because like he's not the tallest bloke, so I probably think they're out of his reach. But he like rolls over so well in the extension of the punch, like through with his shoulder.
Yeah. Fuck.
But that'll be an important breakdown to go through in probably 2 or 3 months by the sound of that then.
That's such a hard breakdown to even begin to fucking wrap my head around.
Because they generally fight like they'll have the that like Ultimate Fighter series or whatever, the final on a certain night with that being the headliner, don't they? Like
Yeah, so they'll do the show, like they do the show like all in the house, and then when it gets to the big final, they'll get everyone like to fight on that card pretty much, and then have like a big, like have them headlining, but then have a big co-main. Like they should have like a championship co-main or something.
That's right. Don't they get like, so the winners, don't they like headline the prelim card or something?
Yeah, for the like the plaque and the fucking contract
Yeah.
and shit. I don't know if it still works like that. I haven't watched Ultimate Fighter in a few years now. But that's how it used to work.
I was just trying to get like a gauge on when they can fucking.
I reckon it'll be August or later.
Well, August is. Hang on. So we're in February. I feel like August is Adesanya.
Yeah, so it'll be
Later than that, I reckon we're looking at like October, November.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be any earlier than August, just because like by the time they get in the house, do the filming, and then after the filming, they put Connor and Chandler into a camp. Well, like they go into camp. Sorry.
The way I look at it too, as well, is like this isn't going to be like a, they're not going to put it in like T-Mobile like arena in Vegas or not even like MSG. Like this is going to a place where they can fit 100,000 people into it because 100,000 people are coming to this fucking event.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably the biggest fight that's been announced this year so far.
I reckon it's one of the biggest fights that's been announced in like 5 years, man. It's fucking huge.
Have you ever done a stadium fight before?
Stadium?
Yeah, like tried to go to like a football stadium,
I don't know.
Not
to
that
be
I know
honest.
of.
like an NFL stadium. Like they could do something like
They could easily do that.
Yeah, I reckon.
like you know how the boxing go and use the fucking Cowboy Stadium and that, especially like what the Super Bowl's coming up, or it's. I'm not that in touch with the NFL.
It's around this time of year, usually like April kind of thing.
Yeah, so it'll be soon the Super Bowl, so like there'd be no stadiums really being used.
Yeah, for that middle period of the year.
Yeah, they'd be able to make like a good stadium fight.
Yeah, 100%.
It'd be good to put that in a big stadium because it's a big fucking event.
And like some of them stadiums, bro, hold 100,000. Like by the time you put like extra seats on the floor, like down at ground level, and sell them like we do over here at a like NRL stadium with like Tim Zoo and that, you could put nearly 120,000 people in one of them fucking stadiums.
Yeah, which is probably what they should do. What does like Madison Square hold?
I think it's
20 or 30,000. Like
yeah. So it's big, but it's not fucking huge.
Like
Yeah.
that's why all the prices for their tickets and shit are so hexy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like if you look at the pricing and shit, because you can only fit 30,000 into the stadium.
Yeah, so they jack them right up.
Yeah, so they jack them right up because they know people want to go.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tim Zoo, before we move on to the next like order of news that we got here, has there been a venue announced for this fight yet?
I think so. I believe I seen something about it the other day. It's in Perth or whatever. So, yeah, we
It's
just
in
get
Perth.
Melbourne, Perth. I don't know. It's not in Sydney.
That sucks.
Well, I don't think we really have the venue for it in Sydney because like when
We've got
was
plenty
the
of
last?
venues in Sydney.
Yeah, but like any time the UFC's been to Australia, they just go to Melbourne. Or like the boxing, like they just go to Melbourne every fucking time.
UFC's been to Sydney.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
but
went
for shit cards.
Mm,
they went to Kudos Bank Arena. They've been to Queensland.
yeah, they've been around.
But
Yeah, but like, I mean, like big card like Cambosis, Haney, Melbourne,
Yeah, that was a
UFC
marvel.
284, Melbourne. Like Melbourne just seems to get the bigger draws. I'm guessing they've got like the better arena for it. I guess.
Oh, Melbourne does have better infrastructure. It's just a better city overall, man.
Yeah,
Melbourne's just, and it's got like, you walk down one street, bro, and there's just stadium after stadium.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I reckon they will get like the host of all the good events. Unfortunately.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. It got all that money pumped into it because that's where like a bunch of the there was a bunch of Olympic shit there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we got a bunch of it out here too, but for some reason it doesn't get used.
Well, yeah, we had the Sydney Olympics here, so clearly we've got venues and shit.
Look, they could put the fights at that stadium in. It's the new Parramatta Stadium that they built.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I heard a rumor floating around town that Parramatta doesn't matter. So I don't know.
That stadium is fucking good, but like Suncorp Stadium.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, that'd be fucking great. If he gets these Undisputed World titles, like do it Suncorp against Charlo for like a rematch. The
They're all
atmosphere, bro. Because that's the other thing too. Is just like fight fans are crazy, Australian fans are crazy. Australian fight fans, psychopaths.
Batshit crazy. Absolutely batshit crazy.
100%. As evidenced by the hour and a half of bullshit that we spew each week. But speaking of the bullshit that we spew, let's move on with it. And like I said, the first two stories pertain to the same man. So McGregor absolutely comes through with some fucking clutch effort shit. So Eddie Hearn was talking last week about how he's trying to organize this Taylor and Serrano rematch on Twitter, and that Croke Park in Dublin is where they want to have it, but Croke Park in Dublin being, like a soccer stadium, and the fact that they're going to have a boxing fight there. As I just said, Australian fight fans might be pretty rowdy, but I can imagine Irish fight fans are probably twice as bad.
The rowdiest.
There is a $500,000 security fee for Croke Park. And Eddie Hearn was saying, this is how it is. We don't know how we're going to be able to pay this. All of a sudden, Conor McGregor just pops up on Twitter and says, I'll pay that shit.
What a man.
Eddie Hearn turns around and says, get him, your DMs. He was thirsty for it. But,
your wife.
So, as of yesterday, at the conclusion of that fight, it's pretty much been confirmed that, Conor McGregor is going to pay this $500,000 fee so that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano can fight at Croke Park in Dublin, which is just a fucking dope thing to do.
Well, it's just just supporting your fucking countrywoman, she's not getting the recognition she deserves, and that cunt is just oh, fuck it. Here's fucking $500,000.
And he knows Eddie Hearn's good on his paydays for his fighters, and he's I've seen videos of them talking before, and he's you better make sure she's making her money. So I feel McGregor's doing his bit to help her make her money too.
Little griff speculation here, boys. Just a little one.
Where his mouth is.
We could see Conor McGregor on a DAZN card in the future. Scratch my back, Eddie. Scratch yours. I reckon that's the conversation they're having. Because Conor's always said that he wants to fight for a world title to some degree. And I feel like not against Mayweather, but against just a kind of shittier world title holder, he might fucking stand some kind of hope.
Oh, there's legitimate, well, not legitimate, but there is people that hold world champion belts in boxing that Conor McGregor could outbox quite easily.
He would come back at 154.
Conor?
He fights at lightweight, 155 in the UFC.
Yeah.
Jump over to 154 in boxing.
But that's the thing as well. There's more fluctuation in boxing too. He could just go to 160 and just be comfortable.
Yeah.
And if he went to if he went to 154, you got Crawford and that about to move there, so he probably just punched in again.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of competition at 160. Triple G's there, but he's not going to be there for much longer.
But I reckon that could be a potential in the future
dude, that's a mad money fight, to be honest.
Yeah. Conor doing boxing after the Floyd fight, it's going to sell, regardless of, as long as he gets put in there with the right opponent where it's oh, this could be an interesting fight, it'll sell. So it's something that they could do, I reckon, because Conor's said multiple times he wants to fight for a boxing world title at some stage. So could be something to keep your fucking eyes out for.
Imagine in 2 years we're looking at Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul for a vacant 175-pound title.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be fucking honest. I've seen crazier things happen.
But so that rematch has been completely announced.
The WBO will just slap one on him.
Say again?
I said we won't even need to see that, but the WBO will just slap one on Conor like they did for Jake. We don't see that fight.
You get a belt. And you get a belt.
Yeah, it's fucking world boxing Oprah.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Crazy, man.
But yeah, that's a whole lot of fucking money to throw up for an event. So props to him, because it's we already know that's going to be a fucking cracker.
I can't wait for that fight, eh? Who do you boys see taking the rematch? Taylor or Serrano?
I'd go Taylor to outbox her.
Yeah, I'd say Taylor to probably just fight the smarter fight this time around.
Yeah.
Not get kind of guided into the dogfight that Serrano made it last time.
That's it, because that's where she nearly sort of had her.
But yeah, I reckon Taylor will just box her apart.
And then you got to assume that this undercard's going to be massive as well.
So wait, what belts are they fighting for? Taylor's belts, or are they fighting for all the belts?
Taylor's belts.
Okay. I reckon they should do a fucking meet in the middle and just fight for fucking all belts.
Well, that's where Baumgardner is. So Serrano's at 126, Taylor's at 135, and Baumgardner on the weekend is now the undisputed champion of the 130-pound division.
Yeah, I don't mean like fight for them belts. I just mean like meter to catch weight, fight for.
I don't
fight
think
for all
it,
10.
I don't think they can, unfortunately. I wish it worked like that.
That'd be dope.
Can we just have one like put on weight or cut weight, fight for all the belts at that division, and then just have a rematch, and we'll flip it around and go back up to the other weight?
I mean,
I don't think
I'd watch them
Taylor's
fight every
capable
weekend.
of making 126.
Actually, big girl, eh? Like, like a solid girl.
I mean, yeah, like Serrano would obviously like cut kind of thing and like had like rehydrated and wouldn't be properly rehydrated as to what she would usually be on the weekend kind of thing. But you can see the size difference in between them.
Yeah.
I don't think Katie Taylor would do the extra. Like, I don't think losing an extra 3.5 pounds would be hard for her though.
Oh, it's more than that. She's at 135 and Serrano's at 126.
Right.
It's like it's like 9 pounds.
Yeah, right. I thought
So it's a couple of kilo.
Yeah, I just reckon her body frame wouldn't allow it. She's got like big shoulders and shit, like big upper body.
Yeah.
It's like 4 kilo, I think.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. I'd watch them fight literally once a month. If they were like, oh, Serrano versus Taylor every weekend for the next year, I'd be like, fucking let's go, lads. Get the fuck off.
Legit. Just like a Vegas residency where they just punch on once a month.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the shit.
Fucking know. That'd be the tits.
Bro, that's a brilliant idea.
I'm just gonna go say bye to the.
Yeah, we'll pause her up.
Oh,
well.
Did we pause or not?
No, because we're streaming anyway. So.
All right. I had a point to bring up. I hope I don't forget it. I seen the thing yesterday.
What's
Nico
it about?
Walsh versus Nikita Zoo.
Something
Ooh.
Nikita Zoo. Okay. Well, let's
Nico
talk about.
Ali Walsh versus Nikita Zoo.
I don't like that for Muhammad Ali's grandson.
I was saying the thing. Apparently, Ali's grandson is interested in it. So
That's a terrible fight for Ali's grandson. Let's be real.
Are they at the same weight?
Yeah, I think they would be. I'm pretty sure they would be.
Ali Walsh is pretty big.
I'll leave you with that to discuss because it was on my mind and I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, what is Nikita's at welterweight?
So wait, did we not pause?
No, because we're streaming anyway, so I just left it. Yeah, Nikita's at welterweight. Let me look up this.
I don't know what Nico Ali Walsh fights at.
I think he might have been at super welter.
I think he's at super middle.
Super middle. We're just gonna have a quick look into that, ladies and gentlemen. While we've got this quick second, like we've said before, you can find us on YouTube.
Middleweight. So he's
Middleweight.
154. No, 160.
Yeah, they could meet, I reckon. I
I
like
think Nikita's probably capable of putting on that weight.
I feel like Nikita's getting bigger and bigger. Like you watch him through camps and shit, and he's just putting more muscle on and shit. That man's got a fucking he looks like a Ninja Turtle, bro. Like he looks like he's got a shell on his back, Nikita. Love it.
Hey, his muscle structure is just crazy.
Me and Grave were talking about it recently, and we were both saying that we reckon he's probably the more dangerous out of the two. Like Tim and Nikita, we reckon Nikita's probably the better boxer.
His nickname is the Butcher.
I don't know if that's from. Do you follow him on Instagram?
No.
Shout out Nikita Zoo on Instagram. All he posts is boxing shit and steak. He just cooks steak all the time. But then you go to his bio and it just says, not a butcher. So I feel like it might play into some along the lines of how much he actually loves cooking.
Yeah, and hurting people.
And definitely hurting people. Yeah, Nikita's not a butcher, no limit boxing. He's got well, I'm just going off track here, like unfight related. He's got some beautiful dogs, man. He's got a Frenchie, he's got a Husky. I don't know what the other one is, but it's fucking beautiful. I swear, that's just like the way to Grasado. I could hate you as a person, but then you just have mad dogs. I'm like, he's alright.
He must be alright.
I don't mind him, he's got cool dogs.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I feel like they could meet and go after it for sure. I don't like that fight. After watching Nico fight on the weekend, I really don't like that for him. Because he was getting tagged up by like a slow, chubby dude. But like, he was just lucky that this dude had no pop in his punches. Whereas like Nikita's going to punch through his fucking face.
Yeah, Nikita can crack.
Tell you the fight I do want to see. Nikita versus the other Dryden, Kyron Dryden, because Kyron's like the better boxer out of the two. And I want to see him come try get revenge for his brother and also get the shit kicked out of him.
Is he an active fighter?
He's back fighting again. He was like a former champion, not world champion, but like he held some type of belt.
Okay.
So he's actually like, out of the two brothers, he's actually like had a decent boxing career. Whereas like Darkin, I think his name is, I think he's only had like 4 fights. Where are them boys
Okay.
from? I think they're from Newcastle, the Darkin brothers. The Dryden brothers, sorry. Darkin brothers.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't feel like that Darkin Dryden's stock went down. Like he got pummeled by Nikita Zoo.
Yeah, that's it. He was just outmatched.
Oh, it was just a mismatch for sure. That was just like a fucking beatdown. But I don't know, some interesting things coming ahead.
Yeah, it's not to say you couldn't go on and continue winning fights, but just don't fight that cunt again.
Yeah, it's probably don't fight him. I want to look at when this Tim Zoo fight is.
It's March 12th.
March.
So what did you say about like Ali Walsh talking about it for him?
I was saying a thing. Apparently, he would be interested in it.
Yeah, I see it here. Definitely chasing Zub out. Muhammad Ali's undefeated grandson. That's the title. Can we talk about that, or are we going to talk about that when we get into the breakdown?
We might as well just talk about it now.
Fucking let him be his own man. Jesus Christ. You should never have to walk out to a fight and like, it's just sad for this guy. Like he's got his own fucking career happening. He's like not a bad boxer. He's shown good potential, but it just gets shit on because even walking out, they have like the little fucking thing underneath his name where it usually has like won his last fight by knockout or like they have some kind of stat. This dude's stat was Muhammad Ali's grandson. That's it. Doesn't say anything else. Doesn't say his fucking height, his reach, nothing. Just that he's Muhammad Ali's grandson. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's it, because what else matters?
I mean, probably like he knocked out his last opponent in like one of the early rounds. Talk about that.
It's a big shadow to have to step out of. Like you never break that shadow.
It is a massive shadow. Even the commentary during the fight, it wasn't like, oh, Nico's doing this. It was like, oh, Muhammad Ali's daughter doesn't like seeing her son get punched in the face because of what happened to her dad. Shut up.
Yeah, they did say that at one point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shut up. How does that fucking sound? He's a boxer. He's gonna get punched. Fuck. Anyway, I just didn't like that whole situation, if I'm being fucking fair.
No, it's very strange.
I feel like,
but he plays into it as well.
yeah, he does.
He does like the Ali shuffle and stuff when he's like, and he does it terribly.
Yeah.
So he looks like a fucking giraffe. Like,
He's trying his best. He's doing his very best.
Oh fuck.
But yeah, it's just exactly like, yeah, let him be his own fucking person.
Well, to be completely honest, boys, I don't really like that fight for Muhammad Ali's grandson versus Kostazoo's son. It's a fucking, I'm telling you, boys. Kostazoo's son versus Muhammad Ali's grandson. Huh. Who wins? Who cares? I care. Nikita wins all day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I reckon he's probably got that in the bag.
Do you follow Nikita on Instagram for him?
I don't even have the gram.
Oh, that answers your question, tradies and gentlemen. It's a no.
It's a big no.
It's a fucking firm no from the firm.
I have a like an account on there, but I don't have the app or anything anymore. I just don't use it. Like I never post photos and shit, so I just like, what's the point in me having it?
Yeah. I agree. I just fucking share really harsh things to my story. That's about all that gets put on my account these days.
Yeah, yesterday was an interesting day.
I expected it to go a lot worse, to be honest.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go and check some of our shorts from yesterday morning, I believe it was. I don't know where they end up on TikTok, but I know there's like they were like yesterday morning on YouTube and Instagram.
Wait, Charlo, don't you go looking though, because we don't need you breaking your pussy again.
Yeah, you might have heard it. Some pretty harsh comments in there. But anyway, moving on to something that I thought was a little bit confirmed during the week, but I've seen some other news afterwards saying that it's going to be fucking delayed again, so who knows? But Usyk and Fury is slated for April, and apparently the favoured venue is Wembley. So I'd seen a lot of stuff in the previous week saying that it's most likely going to go to Saudi Arabia due to the money that Fury wants for the fight. But apparently there's some problems going on there. Not like...
There's money for that fight in the UK. There's definitely money for that fight in the UK.
You'd think so.
I don't see why they need to go to Saudi. Like, that generates huge dollars in the UK.
That's the thing. Well, like there was all that controversy about Fury like charging exorbitant prices for him to fight Chisora in London, and people still mostly sold that event out.
Yeah.
So it's like if you pack 100,000 people into Wembley and charge them, you'll make the money.
It's undisputed.
Exactly.
Like, and it's a fight that everyone's like intrigued in. Like, can fucking Usyk overcome the size and use his boxing skill to get it done? Like,
yeah, and like being in the UK, it doesn't play in an advantage to Fury either. I don't feel like Usyk's been there before plenty of times.
Well, like even where did Usyk and Joshua fight?
No, that was Tottenham Stadium. Like Usyk in London. Usyk won his...
They fight both times in the UK?
UK...
No, first time was Tottenham, second time was Saudi Arabia.
No, the rematch was Tottenham, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I swear it was in like Riyadh or fucking something like that. Yeah, because remember it was the title for the event was like Rage on the Red Sea.
Yeah, it was.
My thing is though, like Usyk didn't get booed in his walkouts in the fights. People respect him over there. So like I feel like that fight's gonna sell regardless. Like
and like,
either have it in Dubai or London.
Usyk's comfortable in fucking England. He won gold like his Olympic gold medal there.
Yeah.
Knocked out Bellew in fucking London, I'm pretty sure it was. Beat AJ there.
I feel like they could have have the fight there and it's gonna be like a pretty even crowd for both dudes.
Yeah, like he would have a strong fan base now in the UK. He's been there a couple of times. He fought Chisora in the UK.
I'm sure within a 2-year period that Usyk has probably split somebody's head open with an axe in defense of his home country. I don't think a bunch of drunk fuckheads from the UK going is going to deter him in any way, shape, or form.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, but like, he's just comfortable there, though.
He's just a killer. Exactly. Yeah, he's comfortable because for some reason a lot of his fights do happen in the UK.
Yeah, like that's like home to him. You know what I mean? He doesn't have many fights back home.
He used to be promoted by Eddie, right?
Usyk.
Eddie managed him or something like that. I know that he used to work with Eddie in some capacity. Whether he had that, who's his manager, that Aegis Klimas guy or whatever the fuck his name is?
Aegis Klimas or whatever his name is.
Yeah. So maybe he's like the dude in their country. What the fuck did you say?
Oh, fucking Klimas.
There's that Aegis Klimas and I just his face.
It's not even a joke.
That's a beautiful name. A fucking beautiful name.
Oh, fucking hell.
Probably one of the best.
But yeah, so like maybe he sort of manages like everything that Usyk does and then like liaises with Eddie to actually, because I'd never seen him before. Like obviously he's been around kind of, he didn't just like come into the picture all of a sudden when he started fighting AJ.
Yeah, no, that's his manager.
Oh, okay. Right. He must be like a bit of both kind of thing. And then he obviously works with other promoters to like co-promote on shit.
Well, he's like Usyk's English voice.
Right. Because I've never seen any, like, in the sense of like, you get all this shit with like Eddie and fucking like Bob don't like each other and Bob and Al don't like each other and like all of this kind of fucking shit. You never see that with Usyk, but I've never actually heard like who his actual promoter is. Like what banner is he under?
I think it is that Klimas bloke is like his manager and promoter, but like out of like Russia, I think. And then he just links with Eddie practically on all of his fights.
Right. Because as far as I know, he's not contracted to anybody.
Yeah, no, I think he's just got that Egis Klimas contracted. Like he's just contracted with him, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I could be talking shit right now. I don't know.
Usyk probably makes a lot more money than what we think he does.
Yeah, because that bloke does all of like his talking pretty much. Like he'll go and do interviews on Usyk's behalf and shit. Like he'll sit there and he'll just start spilling the beans about like what's going on.
That's pretty good that Usyk's only got to pay that one Cletus dude. That's heaps good.
Yeah, well, I think that's all, and then whoever promotes his fights gets a cut or whatever. I'm not sure. That to me is how it appears to like work from the outside. I haven't looked into the finer details of his career.
Yeah, you never really see too many people around him. Like he's generally got like a small team.
You said the name Cletus, you just sent me on a spiral. Now all I can think of is that fucking, you know that scene from the episode where Marge is making the pretzels and she turns up to Cletus's house and he's calling out all his kids? All I can imagine that is just Russian names. Vladimir, Usyk, Lomachenko.
All of them.
I'll do that too, especially this time of the morning.
So Usyk and the Cleveland Steamer fucking getting the job done, getting fucking the fights ready. Fucking, I just can't wait for it to get announced, to be honest. I'm fucking sick of hearing like, oh, it might happen now, it might happen then. Fuck off and just make it happen.
That was March, now it's April.
Yeah.
Oh. How am I supposed to be a serious newscaster with this kind of adversity?
I know, Ned. I know. You're fucking telling me about it, bro.
Oh, he's gone. All right. Well, speaking of fights that we know are going to be in the UK, AJ's comeback is set for April 1st in London against Jermaine Franklin. I wrote it down specifically. Go for it.
Speaking about comebacks, there was a special lady once, and I'm pretty sure a bit of a splash of cum landed on her back. I don't know. I haven't watched the footage, but it happened.
I love how it's slightly different every time. There's just like one or two words. It's just like, oh, it's a little journey.
This fucking... No, there's definitely... Cum landed somewhere. I just don't know where it landed on her back.
I mean, Ray J definitely went on a journey.
Yes, who's fighting? Ray J.
Anyway.
Who's Ray fighting?
Ray J should fight.
Yeah, fucking no.
Holy shit, we'll just refer to him as Ray J from now on. So it's, Ray J versus Jermaine Franklin.
Okay. Was that the fight that could have potentially been in Australia, but it's not?
No. So there was talks of him fighting that Dempsey McKean.
That's the one.
Potentially, but obviously they went with Franklin, which is a better fight.
When are you getting into training camp? He's ready.
We've been on Zoom so much, I forget he's there.
He's under the table doing fucking sit-ups right now. He's ready. Better be careful, Ray J. Franklin's coming for blood.
Well, we seen something from Franklin yesterday saying that he told Eddie Hearn to tell the judges to take the night off.
Yeah, because he's going to get knocked out. He knows it.
Yeah.
Eddie, fucking pre-book that fucking bed in the hospital for me, all right?
Yeah.
AJ's going to fucking punch my fucking head into the fucking rafters. I feel bad for that dude because you can know AJ, like, look at what happened at the end of his last fight. I'm surprised he didn't pick a Usyk up and throw that kind of out of the fucking ring.
Oh, that's something that I've totally forgotten about until just now. The fact that Joshua turned into a raging race psychopath at the end of his last match.
Yep.
R.I.P. Jermaine Franklin.
You gotta imagine he's carrying that same hostility into camp.
Yeah.
Like he's just got a chip on his shoulder, like, I gotta fucking kill this dude to get my shot back. So we'll see. I don't like that fight for Franklin at all.
Well, we've had the conversation like probably a million times before in this podcast and a million times again in real life. He needs that fucking attitude if he wants a world title again.
Yeah. He needs that, like, just the spark in him, you know?
He just needs to understand that he's not a boxer.
No, yeah, he's a fucking puncher.
Exactly.
That's what got him to fucking world titles.
And yeah, there's things that you can do to make your punching more, accessible and more precision and things like that. But at the end of the day, you need to just fucking bully people because you're a 6'6", 240-pound man.
Black man at that.
But what do you think about the fight for him?
What, Franklin versus AJ?
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather see Franklin there than White, given the performances they both put in that last fight. Like, if we were going at it from that point. But I don't like the fight for Franklin.
Who'd Franklin fight last?
If or Dillian White last. So that's what, like, Eddie was saying at the end of that fight. Like, the winner of this will, fight AJ most likely next. But it was kind of controversial. Like, it was a White won, but I think it was only like a split decision, and it was pretty, like, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, right. And then just gave the fight to the other guy. Love it.
So
yeah, well,
knock him out and make a point, and then probably go knock White out. And then he's back in the title shots, really.
I don't want to see Joshua Usyk 3. I don't need to see that fight. I've seen Usyk beat him twice.
something gives me the feeling that AJ, if he makes it through Franklin and White again, is going to have to go through Joe Joyce to get to a world title.
Yeah, that dude should be up in contention, right? He's had some fucking...
He's a WBO #1 contender, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
So after the undisputed fight happens, there's going to be that many mandatory obligations. I wouldn't be surprised if the belts will get split.
It's not actually that spread out. So WBC is like still being contended between Wilder and Ruiz, so that's one. Joyce is WBO. The other two Daniel Dubois. So it's only 3 people.
Isn't Hergovich like the mandatory for the IBF?
Wilder splattered him in that first round, remember? Was that Hergovich? No.
Hellenius, wasn't it?
Hellenius.
The
you
cheese
might
man.
be right, actually. Yeah, Hergovich is the IBF.
Big Chinese fella. What's his name?
Zhang. No,
Yeah.
see, I thought it was, but Daniel Dubois has been announced as the #1 contender for the WBA.
Yeah, but I mean the IBF is Hergovich.
Yeah, IBF is Hergovich. And
He's the
then
mandatory.
Joyce is
But, like-
WBO. And then whoever if they fucking get this Wilder and Ruiz fight happening, whoever wins that will be the #1 for WBC.
So,
So yeah, maybe you're right. It will be a fucking pain in the ass.
like, and then you're meant to do a mandatory every 12 months. How do you do? You won't be able to make fucking two. I'll be doing like 2 mandatories a year.
Which they fucking should be anyway.
Yeah, but like you meant to have a mandatory and a voluntary defense each, like every 12 months.
Yeah, but if these fighters weren't bitches and actually didn't, I need an extra $3 million for this fucking fight, but I'm a fighter, but I won't fight anybody until I'm paid right. Like, motherfucker, $10 million is $10 million. Like, if you just don't go and buy 7 goddamn sports cars and do your fucking job.
You fucking let someone look at me the right way out the front, give me $10, I'll go fight him.
100%. Like, it's just, this is the part that shits me about all of this. Man. Like, they think they're so fucking entitled to stuff just because somebody else has got it before. It's this constant standard of like with the Tyson Fury shit of like, I need $500 million to fight Usyk. Why? Because you're afraid?
I'm just saying, like, they'll only be ever doing mandatories. They'll never be doing a voluntary defense of any title ever. And then even if they did that, they'd have to be fighting 4 times a year.
Yeah, which most heavyweights aren't going to do.
But they could fight 3 is my point.
Yeah, so
you could fight 2 mandatories and a voluntary each year, make your fucking money and fulfill your obligations. If you just weren't a bitch and everybody wasn't hard to fucking deal with.
But you wouldn't be really able to fill all your obligations because you've got 4 belts that all want a mandatory field every 12 months.
But don't they work on like a little bit of a rotating schedule with themselves?
The IBF won't. Yeah, they do, but once like one belt comes in, then it all becomes a fucking shit show again because they all start like saying, well, he hasn't, the last bloke didn't do my mandatory for fucking 12 months, so his is due next. And then they all get in a fucking argument and then they just strip him of the belt.
Yeah, somebody just needs to combine all of these fucking organizations.
Yeah, it gets confusing from someone that's like newer to boxing. Fuck me sideways.
It's fucking stupid, man. And it's constantly going to be the downfall of boxing until everybody just gets together and goes, there needs to be one belt per division. That's it.
Because then you're getting all the. It's not like, oh, I can go be a world champion and avoid this guy. There's none of that shit. To be a world champion, you got to fight the best.
And here's the thing, too. I've actually thought about this, right? The problem between it is the fact that all of these sanctioning bodies turn around and then go, well, no, because then I'm not going to get money myself, and like they'll think they're going to be losing out on money. Separate the divisions themselves. So literally, like Teddy Atlas has always talked about, like making a like boxing commission. If that was ever to be put into place, like you just say like, all right, get the 4 commissioners and then split up 5 divisions each between them. So you have this division, you have this one, you have this one. Everybody gets like a big earner kind of thing, and then it goes down from there. So everybody's still making money on their sanctioning fees and shit, but everything's rolling around more. There's only one fucking belt. Everybody's working towards the same fucking goal. You're not having like, it's just ridiculous, man. It's actually gotten a slight bit better in the last couple of years because we've had, like, how many undisputed champions do we have at the moment?
3, I think.
And there's a potential for like a couple more.
You got what? You got Canelo, Charlo.
There is some, or there was, in a way was,
Yeah. And then like in recent years,
Haney, fucking undisputed, isn't he?
he is.
Like there's Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
There's been a few.
And there's 3 right now, all one after the other in the women's division.
Yeah. You got. Yeah, and then plus like Clarissa Shields as well.
Yep.
The throat quote.
But yeah, so we got like way off traffic here, but fucking, I don't know. It's like I said, it's constantly going to be the downfall of boxing until somebody gets their fucking head out of their ass and either starts getting these people to fight more than once a fucking year.
Well, just like, even if all the organizations did what the IBF did and be like, oh, you want to fuck around? Give me a stuff fucking belt back. I like that whole concept. It like kind of like stops the fighters from doing that. Like, oh, I'm not fucking signing anything till I get bigger contract, because I'll just be like, well, fucking give it here then. We'll go give it to someone that fucking wants it. Is it the IBF that does that?
Yeah.
They pretty much have got this long to do this.
I like their concept. I feel like if all the organizations kind of had that same mentality, it'd make divisions like not stand still as much.
That's for sure.
Because yeah, fighters just know they're like, oh, well, fucking, I can just fucking hold off. This guy will go fight someone else, and I'll get an easier fight.
Well, speaking of fighting someone else and getting an easier fight, why don't we move on to some real interesting news that I saw just before we started here. So, Conor Benn's been reinstated, as everybody knows. And apparently, he's looking at a very interesting opponent.
Oh, I did see this.
For some unfucking God-known reason, Conor Benn's team has been in talks with Manny Pacquiao. Why?
I don't understand that at all. But I've also seen like many in talks with like some Japanese fighter. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I feel like Manny's got to be smarter than taking that fight, right?
I seen a thing a few weeks ago. Manny wants to win a world title again or something.
Isn't he like 45?
Yeah,
he'd
be like the oldest world champion like ever. Outdo George Foreman.
Like, it's not against Manny to be able to get it done. I don't want to see him get knocked out again.
Dude, talking about Errol Spence and like Crawford, but I feel if they don't sort this shit out, they'll end up moving to 154. And Pacquiao will be able to just come back and Even if he is like a bit of a step behind, he's still dangerous to half of them fucking people in that division.
Yeah. I don't like the fight for Pacquiao against Ben though. Fuck, Ben cracks, man. And he's like pretty fast for how much power he carries. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just not a good fight for a 45-year-old Pacquiao to be taking somebody who hits like Ben.
Yeah, and like young, starting to enter their prime. Like, I don't understand it either. I understand like many want to be a champion again, and maybe Ben's like a good like stepping stone in Pacquiao's eyes, but I don't know. That's a dangerous fight.
And then if you kind of Ben too, what kind, like, yeah, you're fighting Manny Pacquiao, but he's 45 years old. You don't gain anything from this.
No, it doesn't look good. Like, it looks good on your record, like on paper, but like for anyone to talk about, it looks terrible.
Mm.
Oh yeah, he beat a fucking pensioner. Fucking mad. Yeah, I don't know. But then again, it's Manny fucking Pacquiao. He could just come out and box Ben's fucking face off.
Well, you said beating up pensioners, and that kind of just leads me into my next point. I don't know if you guys watched the Bellator on the weekend.
Rest in peace, Fedor.
Yeah, Fedor Emelianenko retires from MMA after a loss to Ryan Bader, and yeah, he got fucking TKO'd in 2 minutes. It was a bad loss. And Bader actually said during the week, he's like, look, man, he's like, I don't want to do this shit. He's like, but I also don't mind being the fucking bad guy. He's like, I'm not going to go there and not do my job just because he's who he is.
Yeah, yeah. You got to take it as a fight. Like,
exactly. But 23 years as a pro MMA fighter.
Yeah, he's like probably, in my opinion, probably one of the most well-rounded MMA fighters that's ever been. Like good ground game, good striking, like real smart in the cage.
And dude, over 23 years, and for how like the age that he's had and all that kind of thing, he's only lost like 7 times.
Yeah, no, he's had a fucking mad career.
Not a lot. You look at somebody like Jorge Masvidal, who's only been fighting for like 10 years, and he's got like 12 losses on his fucking record or some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jorge.
Yeah, fuck you, George.
Did you see that fucking, not to get off topic, but did you see that shit during the week? I can't remember whether he was on like the MMA hour or like doing a fucking interview with somebody. And somebody asked him like, oh, has there been any like results coming back from like the Colby Covington shit? And his response was like, yeah, his blood type came back. He said he was a little bitch.
I mean,
wow.
Coming from the guy that dog shotted him from behind.
You're a fucking child, aren't you? Like a 5-year-old. Like, seriously, man, just fucking get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, I hope he goes to fucking prison.
I hope he doesn't go until after he fights Burns, because Burns is going to eat that motherfucker alive.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, just absolutely shatter his fucking face and then send him to jail.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's how I see that fucking fight going. But, like, I don't know how you can come out, get beat 5 rounds, get dominated. You got dominated, and then sucker punch this dude and then still be trying to shit talk him. Like, no, it took you to run up behind him and punch him in the back of the head to even land a shot. This week.
That's the best part too, as well, as like, if for some reason you like half missed it or didn't do a good enough job kind of thing, and Colby just turned around and got a hold of him, you could just fucking strangled him unconscious.
Yeah. I feel like George had like some friends with him and shit though. But it would have been like just like them jumping Kobe, who was with like the Nelk boys maybe, who like set him up and messaged Jorge and was like, he's here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a whole thing to it.
Oh, some people are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Well, they posted something on somewhere.
Yeah, they like somehow gave you like where he was away, and then George went and fucking hid in a bush out the front, waited for Colby to leave, and sucker punched him.
Ugh. It's just pathetic.
From the streets.
Yeah. Street Jesus. Fuck off, cunt.
Dance for me, Jesus.
Oh, yesterday was interesting. But I was speaking of Ariel Helwani just before, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that happened like on like some fucking phone call he did to the MMA hour, and he's been in the news a little bit this week. also for being a little bitch.
Ariel.
Yeah. Do you see this shit about him? Well, like, I can't remember exactly who else he was complaining about. He's complaining about somebody, but he all of a sudden just starts attacking Joe Rogan out of nowhere, saying that...
No. Joe Rogan... I did look into this a bit more. Joe Rogan on his podcast, someone was talking about someone saying something a bit skeptical on Ariel's show, and Joe Rogan goes, well, he's just got a way of making people say things. But it was like pretty bad what the other dude said. And then like, yeah, it kind of got turned onto Ariel, like, oh, you made him say it. Ariel was coming back like, no, I don't make people say things. I just ask questions.
Yeah, but then he tried to accuse Joe of the same thing. And it's like, by consuming both of your content, like I listened to like 2 Rogan podcasts in the last days, one with Jordan Peterson, one with Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
I reckon I heard Joe Rogan say about 10 fucking things in about 6 hours of podcast, whereas opposed to you jumping in and fucking, you know, like, what the fuck are you talking about trying to make people say things? Motherfucker. Like, you know, speaking of Jorge Masvidal that we just were speaking about before, you had him on your show and were like, pressed him like 3 separate times about him being in prison, and he said, I don't want to talk about it. Then 5 minutes later, you asked him about it again and tried to get him to talk about it.
That's good journalism right there, in my personal opinion.
That's being a hypocrite right there, is what that is, and not knowing what you've actually done in the past.
I don't like I'm kind of on Team Ariel here, just because he's in mad beef with Dana and whoever the fuck else Dana is like accompanied with, and unfortunately that is Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan is going to stand by Dana regardless, but I'm sure like Rogan and Ariel would probably be good fucking homies if like Dana wasn't in the picture. I don't know. I'm torn on that situation.
I don't know. He just, like, he's good at his job, but he just gets to me sometimes.
I don't watch enough of him to care, I guess. I don't know.
The stuff that I see come up, he just, I don't know. He's one of those people that just seems like he doesn't understand that at one point his words are going to get his fucking face caved in. And it's like, especially with the people that you talk to and you provoke, like, that's the thing about like Rogan, especially, like, he could kind of say whatever he wanted to because he was a fucking national kickboxing champion. It's like, I don't think you've ever thrown a punch in your life, Ariel.
No, and Joe Rogan's also a black belt, so he could just
exactly just like you just like he it's like I feel like he lives in this fucking universe of like, oh well, I am who I am, so nobody's gonna do anything to me. It's like, motherfucker, you deal with some of the like most demented people who have found a fucking like an outlet in fighting.
Ariel like carries himself well. I feel like that gets him out of situations. I've seen Rampage Jackson, Nick Diaz, multiple UFC fighters confront him and he just holds his ground. Like, no. I'm doing my job. You did this, so I called it. There's no harsh feelings. And they're always like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Oh, yeah, his attitude definitely saves him, but it doesn't dispute from the fact that if one of them wanted to, they could fold him up like a fucking pretzel.
Oh, if Rampage wanted to, he could pick him up by his head and squish him. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't see that being an issue for Rampage. Nearly at all.
Cool. Not at all.
No. But I don't know. I don't like all the heat he's copping at the moment, but also I don't pay enough attention, so he could just be bringing it upon himself. I don't know. Because I seen an interview with Jamal Hill recently, and Jamal Hill was like getting agitated with Ariel. I don't know what it was about. I think it was about Dana slapping his wife. Yeah,
well, like that's where all of his like popularity sort of exploded from. He posted that like big long rant about, you know, the whole situation, which is fair enough. Like that's, you know, we kind of had the same opinion on it anyway. But yeah, then he sort of went around the next couple of weeks and was like, anybody he interviewed, it was like he was trying to force them into agreeing with him. Like I think that's why Hill got annoyed, because he was constantly questioning him about it. Because Hill's response to it was, nobody should hit anybody.
Yeah.
Which is a fair enough response. He's not saying anything either way, and that's the right thing to say. Nobody should hit anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if that was the case, we wouldn't even be having this fucking conversation about, like, Dana wouldn't be involved in this fucking thing.
Exactly. And then, Ariel was just constantly questioning him, being like, no, but like this and this. And I think that's why he got agitated, because he's like, that's what I was saying before. It's like he has these certain lines of questioning where he's trying to force people into saying things, which is so stupid for him to accuse Rogan of, because like I said, you listen to Rogan when he's sitting there with an astrophysicist and he's just like, I didn't fucking know that. What the fuck does that mean? And they kind of just go on for another 10 minutes kind of thing. He doesn't have like, he might have an agenda with certain people kind of shit. Like, when he's had like Alex Jones on after he's had a controversy, he's got to ask him certain questions. Kind of shit.
I think we should line it up. Joe Rogan, Ariel Helwani, boxing match.
The nose versus the chest.
Bro, just juiced to the gills.
Fucking hell. Ariel's kind of tall. Imagine if he just got him fucking... Just absolutely fucking trend up.
Joe's going to punch through his chest. Like, through it. Like, I just said boxing just purely for the fact I don't want to see Ariel die when he gets kicked. But, yeah, Joe's going to punch through it.
I feel like that scene out of the last Spider-Man movie. Joe just punches him and his soul just leaves his fucking body.
That's what would happen. 100% that's what would happen.
Alrighty, but we're going to move on to our last news story here, which is like, I wanted to break this conversation up so that it doesn't flood into one another. So we'll do the breakdown of the fight, the actual like mechanics and what happened in the fight and how it went after this. But let's talk about the controversy from the fight that we watched on the weekend. No Limit Boxing is like launching or asking Arizona State Athletic Commission to launch an investigation into the 27-second count that Emmanuel Navarette got in his fight this weekend.
They definitely should put some kind of investigation into it. A bit of like a champion experience move by Navarette, but then like also knowing that he had the ref on his side, he could get away with doing it. I feel like a bit of a dirty tactic, but a super smart tactic by Navarette. So should we explain what happened? Probably would help. So Wilson landed at the 4th round, I believe it was.
Yeah.
About 30-something seconds, 40 seconds left.
I'm just going to go and grab a drink, boys, so you explain it for a second.
Sweet. Navarette got caught by Wilson with a check hook, and then got hit with a few more shots after and went down. Stood up, and then once the ref reached the 8 count, he was already standing against the ropes. The ref reached the 8 count, he spat his mouthpiece out to gain himself extra time. The ref did the right thing, in my opinion, picked it up and just put it straight back in his mouth, whereas he could have called time and went and fucking rinsed it out and done what you meant to do. But so yeah, the ref did well in that sense, but like also, I don't know.
He put the mouth guard back in Navarette's mouth upside down.
Yeah, upside down for one. So Navarette had to pull it out.
And I heard an interview that Wilson's like done since the fight, and he said that like when the ref come into the dressing room before the fight, he said like if there's a knockdown or that, and you get to the 8, you get to the 8 count, and like you're not ready to go, I'm gonna wave the fight off.
Yeah, well, fuck. It can't go both ways in that sense, like.
So like he's gonna wave it off at 8 if Wilson wasn't ready, but the same didn't happen for Navarette when he wasn't ready at 8. Like when you watch it, you see the ref go set. The ref's like 7, and as soon as he says 7, like Navarette looks him in the eye, like couldn't be looking any more at the ref, and just goes, and just spits his mouth guard straight on the floor.
Well, I think we need to speak more on that point in itself anyway. The fact that, like you mentioned right at the top, the ref was definitely biased in one direction. There was numerous instances where Navarette would do something. He would like sort of separate the clinch. Yeah. Wilson would do the exact same thing 2 seconds later and then get disciplined for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would like be in the clinch and he'd be like, stop. And then like Navarette would hit him. And then like they'd break and then they'd get back into a clench again, and the ref would be like, stop. So Wilson would whack Navarette and the ref would be like, no, don't you do that.
Yeah. Woodfull would be like, hey, what the fuck? Like, calm down, bro. No, fucking call it evenly. I mean, the
Did
ref.
you just hit him in the fucking face?
Yeah. I mean, like the ref. I've got to give him some credit in the sense, like he could have given Navarette even extra time, called timeout, went and rinsed his mouth guard out, put it back in. That's an extra 10 seconds than what we already got. So
You have shades of Jeff Fennick here, boys.
It really fucking is, man.
I mean, to a certain degree. If he didn't go get stopped in the 9th round, I feel like it's like a much bigger argument.
But like
it's
that's Wilson's team's whole argument as well. He shouldn't have been there to be stopped in the 9th.
No, he shouldn't have. And to be honest, like Wilson should have been way further ahead on the scorecards than he was as well. That second knockdown was a knockdown. Yeah. Navarette grabbed Wilson as he fell.
Yeah.
And pulled Wilson on top of him, which made it look like a slip. But no, you got fucking rocked.
Yeah, he was like
before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it like if I was looking at it from like a non-biased point, I would have been like, why the fuck isn't the ref stopping that? And I even said that even though I was like Team Navarette till the end. But I even said like, fuck, he probably should have called that. But I feel like he did well by like not calling a time, not taking Navarette to his corner, because it could have went from a 17-second count to a fucking 30-second count.
It was 27 seconds.
Well, it could have been like 40 seconds. Like we could have had like an extra 20 seconds if the ref didn't just plonk it back in his mouth, like hurry the fuck up. But then
but if the ref called time at 27 seconds when he spat his mouthpiece out, he might have had those extra couple of seconds to recover, but he would have also had to withstand 27 seconds of punishment. And I'm not sure whether he would have made it through.
Well, it's probably like a good 5 seconds from the time the ref puts his mouth guard like back in his mouth, like puts it in upside down, then like makes Navarette like grab it out with his glove and like spin it around and put it back in.
Yeah.
It's like...
it's fucking weird. I mean, I'm glad my guy got the belt, but at the same point in time, like, there's so many people watching this shit, and to just allow that type of shit to happen gives boxing such a fucking bad name. Like, it's already copping a bad name because of all the like the corruption and like the shit judging, like everything, and then this shit happens, and it's like, oh, this guy's not meant to win the fight, so he's just got. Not only does he have to fight Navarette, who's a dangerous fighter, but then he's got to fight the ref, he's got to fight the judges.
Like should Aussie fighters just start boycotting Top Rank shows
and just not fighting on them?
It's a fucking common theme, isn't it?
Like we had Maloney robbed on a Top Rank show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like generally, Top Rank has their boy like in the main, and then it's just a fucking whitewash. Like, oh, this guy fucking shouldn't even be in here against Navarette. But Wilson showed that he should be in there. But like, yeah, like I said, he wasn't just fighting Navarette. He was fighting the judges. He was fighting the ref. Like, he was fighting just an uphill fucking battle.
Yeah, like he was already like up
scales.
Against it. Yeah, he was already up against it in everyone's opinion. Like, I don't get why it's so hard for other people to go to America and get a fair shot.
Yeah, it's bullshit, man. Like I'm not saying like if he got his time, he 100% would have knocked him out. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. But like, yeah, if he didn't get raw dogged, fuck, Australia could have a fucking world champion right now. Like, there's a fucking good chance that it would have fucking happened. Like, he went into the next round. Was it the 5th round? He rocked him again, or was it the 6th?
The 6th.
6th.
Okay, so like,
he caught him with the right.
Yeah, there's a good percentage like he fucking goes and gets him done if he gets all his time. Hopefully they fucking make it a no contest and make a rematch in Australia. That'd be fucking huge.
Yeah, it's fucking. Like I said, it's real fucking disheartening to see. Like, just as a fucking fight fan overall, and then it's just real disheartening for like Wilson himself, man. Like,
yeah, well, they stayed 2 doors away from each other in the same hotel.
Really?
For fight week, and there was like a photo of like them in the hallway like after, and then I seen like in an interview, Wilson apparently went down and like was speaking to Navarette the next day, and he said he'd be more than willing to do a rematch in Australia. So
yeah, huge,
interesting.
And that was like the next day. So have to sort of keep our fucking ears out, boys, and
it's fucking fingers crossed.
See what comes up over the next I don't know, month or so, I'd say.
Man.
Fuck Tim Bradley off and that Mark Kriegel, and we'll do the broadcast with Ward.
Yeah. I will touch on this before we get into the actual thing.
Okay.
Good commentary for once. Not bad.
Yeah, they didn't do too bad, to be honest.
Even the main wasn't. I expected the main to be real biased, but like it wasn't. Like they were they're calling it pretty fairly.
Definitely seen worse commentating, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jeff.
But yeah, alrighty. Like we said, there's not too much more we can say on that until we actually get some decisions or some investigations happening. So let's move on to the actual breakdown of the fight itself.
Like cracker, barn burner, absolute
Cracker fucking fight, man.
fight.
Edge of me fucking seat, boys. I couldn't fucking settle. Like in all reality, it was a win-win for the Griff, but fuck me dead. My palms were sweating by like the end of the third round. My palms were sweating. I was fucking feeling giddy. I was like, fuck me dead.
I think I was one of the only people that was even giving Wilson a shot at winning that fight.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, you nearly fucking nailed it on the fucking head, eh?
I just really didn't know which way to go with it. I was always under the impression that Navarette was going to get it done, but I was never really sure of Wilson's skill level. And then all of a sudden, the first round, I was like, wow, he's a lot bigger than he is. And then he cracked him with that hook in the fourth. And I was like, oh, Navarette's not ready for this kind of power.
Well, like, we were talking about it the day before. We were talking about, like, what tools Wilson had to have to stay in the fight. And fuck, he had them tools. So it made it fucking interesting. I don't feel like we touched on the whole scale situation. So there was like something weird happened with the scales as well, talking about Wilson just coming against all the fucking odds. Before he even got in the fucking ring, he was coming up against it. Wilson weighed in the back at 139. 139. And then when he weighed in on the scales...
129, it would have been.
129. When he weighed in on the scales, yeah, he was like 126 point something. So like in the span of 20 minutes, he lost like 3.5 pounds, which is stupid. And then you look at Navarette when he was like in the ring and he looked like pudgy. He didn't look like he was like in shape. Like he had like, you usually see him, he like looks like a boxer, like he's ripped, but he had like man titties and shit for this fight. So it makes me think he probably come in a fair bit heavier than what he should have been as well. I don't know.
Taking it as serious, thinking you're just going to walk over Wilson.
Yeah, well. Fucking didn't happen.
Like we said, he got the job done, but he had to go through some serious fucking adversity to do it.
Yeah, well, it was also good, like, seeing him come back from being dropped and being able to, like, stay composed to some degree, like, after the whole mouthpiece debacle. Like, he came back, he settled in, got rocked again, and then come back, and it pretty much went downhill as soon as Navarette started, like, digging to Wilson's body. That's when, like, Wilson started to slow, because Navarette was cracking him with shots early, and Wilson was just walking through him. And then, yeah, it was after a body shot that you could tell Wilson just didn't have, like, he took the next round off, and then after that, he just didn't have, like, the pep in his step, so to say.
No, you're 100% right. And he just sort of like you said, he let Navarette get too comfortable. Yeah. Navarette was able to start working at his, like, full range, which is where he gets the most of his power. And then, yeah, he just caught him, like, right at the end of one of those straights. And then it was pretty much game over from there. It was a tiny bit of an earlier stoppage from the ref than what I would have liked, but I don't think it was going to be anything different. I think Navarette was just going to pour it on. There was still 2 minutes left in the round, or like a minute and a half or some shit.
Yeah, I feel like he probably would have. Like, as soon as Navarette gets you hurt, he's a good finisher.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't getting any better, that's for sure.
Nah. But fucking Wilson, I mean, his stock only went up through that fight. Like, he's definitely someone to keep an eye on through that division, I guess.
Oh, 100%. That division's not hugely deep now, especially since Shakur Stevenson's moved out of it.
Yeah. So
really the top dogs are like that Oscar Valdez and like Navarette now. I can't really think of anybody else who's around in that division.
Fucking Wilson up there in the fucking mix now. He's gone from being a fucking beach ball on a show to fucking boxing. What a man. What a fucking man.
The fuck is making Castaway references? Wilson!
Him. Part beach ball, part boxer. Get off him. All Aussie, baby. All Aussie.
Jesus. Alrighty. Well, yeah, there's not too much more we can say about that. Like, you know, you feel for Wilson, and judging by what Ruby said before, Navarette is willing to do a rematch, and he obviously, if he's willing to do one, he's under the impression that Wilson is owed one. So
Yeah.
let's see how that progresses. We might be able to go and see that in fact, because Wilson, he's a Queensland boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not so much, not too much of a trip.
Oh, you got to imagine they'll have it in Melbourne.
We can fucking make it up there. Nah, if he's a Brisbane boy, there's like plenty of good like places you could have boxing over there.
Well, I got to go to Queensland anyway, to be honest. So I might as well make a fucking day of it.
Yeah, fuck, just make an absolute day of it, eh?
Fucking, might as well while we're here, you know.
That's it.
Like while we're here, we'll make a day of it there. Fucking be rude not to.
Fucking hell, God.
Just before we touch into the next fight, Navarette with the shorts, purple as fuck, huge, fucking huge. I want his poncho too. If anyone in the comments knows where to get that exact poncho, send it to the group.
Just that specific one with the sweat on and all.
Yeah, I want to sniff it. Smells like fucking victory, boys.
Try and gain some of his powers like Space Jam.
No. Say what I don't.
Alrighty, well, let's move on to the fights we watched yesterday. We did a fight companion for. Should we quickly speak on Sky Nicholson first before we get into these two fights?
Fucking 100% we should. What are you talking about?
Surprised you haven't brought it up already.
No, I've been waiting. So the main attraction, she wasn't in the main event, but the main attraction of the fucking show, she got put in against someone that she needed to go against, I feel, who was like kind of sloppy, unorthodox, just made it an ugly fucking fight. But it was good for Sky, I feel, to get that experience out of the way now. Wasn't a pretty fight to watch. Sky did well. I'd like to see her have more pop on her punches, eh? Like, I'd like to see her bulk up a little bit.
She's still only young.
Yeah, I reckon, yeah, she'll feel it. Like, from her last fight to this fight, she's, like, bigger in the upper body. Like, a little bit. Not heaps, but a little bit. I'd like to see her throw more straight punches. I feel like when she was rocking that other chick, it was when she'd get, like, a nice 1-2. Instead of just, like, kind of doing that check hook lead around and then trying to just keep that happening.
She's got a real long upper body, so she needs to use that leverage to gain that power.
But when she stepped into some 1-2s and you could see the other chick was like, fuck, like, they actually kind of got her attention. Whereas, like, the check hooks and that were just like, it looked like she was hitting it with a fucking pillow.
It's the same way I've taught you to punch. It's like, yeah, you obviously have more innate punching power kind of thing than what a woman might have.
I fucking hope so.
When, like, the difference in between, like, if you wing a shot as opposed to if you hit it straight at your full length, that's when you get the most pop on your shot. And it's the same for her because she doesn't have that, like, particularly, like, big, like, muscly build. Like, she's kind of stringy kind of thing. But if she was to be, like, sort of, like, you know, using that momentum of her body, like hitting with that long jab and fucking coming all the way through with the straight. Exactly like you said. It's the only time that she was really rocking her because she was catching her with check hooks literally every 10 seconds that weren't deterring her whatsoever.
Nah, they'd literally just reset her because she would, like, kind of twist around while she threw it and the other chick would just have to reset and then head down, in she went.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, the 1-2, like, kind of, like, not only that, but I'd like to, like, it kind of set her up for other shots. She could do 1-2, fucking then throw the hook. But, like, yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know. I feel like the experience, like the professional level experience showed in that fight, which was good because Sky needed to go through that. So Sky needed to go through that before, because she was already talking like, I want to get this belt and I want to go up and, like, face Serrano soon. That's a terrible
They're talking
fight.
about her next fight being a title eliminator.
Don't do that to her. She's good. She's so fucking talented and so fucking good, but that was a 6th fight. Let her work her way up into the ranks a bit and fight some more
Got the boss
uncomfortable fights.
Back.
Like, yeah, let her go fight a few more uncomfortable fights first, instead of like, have her like kind of cushion her record up until that, and then like, title elimination, and then she can fight Serrano. Serrano's gonna kill her.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like Serrano cracks hard inside, can negate, like Serrano's not gonna try to fucking be like this chick that she fought and kind of like just bull her way into it.
Yeah, Serrano's a smart fighter, man.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to put her up against at this time of her career. But
do I see Sky being a world champion though?
100%.
I give her probably like within 2 years. I reckon she'll hold a belt of some degree.
2 to 3.
Yeah. By
the way boxing moves.
I don't want to see her get rushed into it. I feel like she's got too much potential to get like rushed into a Serrano match.
Yeah, she could be a champion for a very long time if they give her just a little bit more time to develop.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but let's move on to the co-main event here. We had Alicia Baumgardner going against is it Ellen Mekhaled? Baumgardner coming out with was it a split decision or a unanimous decision win?
I feel like it was unanimous.
I'm pretty sure it was unanimous. It was a fucking good fight, man.
Okay, it was. That other chick, Mekhaled. I feel like she was like never given a chance in this fight, and fuck me dead, she stayed in it, and she made Baumgardner make it a fucking fun fight.
She made her fucking work, man.
The end rounds, man, where Baumgardner's just digging to the body. Oh my god, bro! I didn't get to watch the fight live because fuck you, Aussie broadband. But I'll get into that another fucking day. But I went back and watched it since. It was a good one. It was a fucking good one.
Oh, I got a rest day, boys.
Rest day?
I was about to say, Froom's got a big smile on his face over there after that phone call, so...
fucking old Greg coming through with the heat.
I have a rest day.
Shout outs to Big Dog. I'll see you next week, Chief.
Yeah, mate. Wednesday, we got fucking big days this week. Pause.
Does anybody here work at Fenton's Produce? I didn't...
Nah, not here.
I didn't think so.
Not here, mate.
Fucking...
Also didn't care, ain't it?
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, yo, dog, you little wombat.
You fucking wombat.
That's what he looks like, eh? Anyway.
He's a real piece of shit, that's for damn sure. Wouldn't want to see me around in the street. I'll fucking kiss him on the lips. See how he fucking likes that.
Just before you walked away from him, we've moved on to the co-main event, Baumgardner versus Mekhaled. One fucking fight, eh?
Oh yeah, and the bum was just on display as a gardener would like it.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I didn't get to see much of the fight, like I said, fucking little technical difficulties, but I seen what I needed to fucking see.
All the important parts.
Say that.
But yeah, it was a very interesting fight. Baumgardner just absolutely went for the fucking fences in that third round and knocked it down twice. But like we all mentioned during the fight, or I mean, Froome was sort of talking about, she looked really tired from rounds probably 4 through 6, maybe even 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very tired.
I say she probably, because I did get to see them earlier rounds, she would have thought she had to finish in the bag. She dropped her hard, and then this other chick just kept coming back. And
like it was similar to the Nicholson fight. Like, not in the sense that like she dropped her or anything, but she just had that tough, gritty opponent that just wouldn't fucking go anywhere, man.
Yeah, just in her face the whole time.
Yeah, no matter like what she seemed to hit her with, it just didn't put the other chick down, but like it didn't seem to like deter her. It didn't like make her want to stop.
No.
And like actually have like I don't know, try and land punches in some form of like set up fashion. Like she just kept coming forward all night.
Was it I think it was this fight where Mekhaled was like throwing pretty big combos, like middle to late rounds.
Yeah, like the engine on that woman.
Yeah, like after being dropped 3 times or however many times, dude, to just keep on fucking cruising along. Fucking.
And then like Like she reminded me of like sort of the female version of fucking Bam Bam. Like she got tagged with some heavy shit, but every time she got tagged, she was like no, and just like tried to sit down on her own shots and just swing back. Like the more she got tagged, the more she wanted to like.
She had a.
It was weird.
She had a very interesting style, yeah, because like she was extreme in those first round or two. She was very, very technical, like sort of moving in and out on a jab, like fighting well on the inside and stuff like that. She got dropped in the third, and then in the fourth, all of a sudden she just put her fucking head down and just went, "All right, let's fucking go."
Yeah, like she was technically better than the chick that Nicholson fought, but she just had that like didn't want to go nowhere, like spirit.
Had that dog in her.
Yeah, like that chick that Nicholson fought was just sloppy and fucking. Nothing really trying to set up anything. But the chick Baumgardner fought was like, you could tell she had a game plan that she was trying to execute. But then once it didn't work, she was just like, okay, I'm gonna have a dogfight.
Yeah.
And I mean, she had little bits of successes in the dogfight. Yeah. Molly's like, what? Who's fighting?
Perfect timing. You said the word dogfight, and she's like, who?
The fuck's punching on.
Want to go, cunt?
Fucking, I'll take him. I'll fucking take him.
Oh my god. But yeah, like it was like you said, in juxtaposition to even in juxtaposition to the main fight, which we're going to get into in a minute. But yeah, it was after being knocked down, it was controlled chaos. Like she went for the fences, but she was also still relatively smart about it.
Yeah, she still had like her technique behind her and shit.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. Like sometimes she'd just like be in there slanging and banging, you know?
Well, she got those middle rounds. All of those middle rounds went to her in my book.
Yeah, she made it.
Because Baumgardner was absolutely fucked after trying to put her down.
Well, even Baumgardner came out afterwards and was like, you made that a fight. Holy shit.
Yeah. Which
is so disrespectful to say to your opponent. Like, oh, you actually made it a fun fight. Thank you.
I didn't even think about that, but fucking hell, that is actually pretty disrespectful.
It's like a fucking backhanded compliment, eh?
But that's just how women speak.
You made that half decent. Thanks.
That's legitimately the most woman thing to say after a fight. Like, oh yeah, you made that way better than I thought you would.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Good on you, mate. Thanks.
You're less useless than I thought. Like, all right.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean,
marry me? What?
But yeah, we'll just touch back. Like, when I first seen the shorts, I was skeptical. I was like, fuck, she's made a design change, away from the peach. But fuck, little was I wrong. There was an opening round there. There was a good flurry happening. I don't remember any of the punches getting thrown. Let's just say that. Just fucking looking at nothing but cheek. They shouldn't be allowed to have that. That's distracting, right? How you meant to fucking how commentators meant to call a fight with that happening?
Well, they did an alright job.
Yeah, they did better than me. That's for damn sure.
Alrighty, let's move on to the main fight here. Serrano versus Cruz. Fucking hell.
Again.
Where did they find these fucking three women?
I don't know.
The three fucking opponents, they just like fuck me dead. They all had to be fucking Mexican, bro. Fucking nothing but heart. A lot of them
were.
What can we say about Cruz?
Fucking.
I don't even.
She bleeds a lot.
Oh, wrong split, I agree.
Fucking. Not meant to have one there.
Oh, fucking hell, man. That was. I don't even. Like. That was just pure violence.
It was. I just remember Serrano jabbed her at one point and you just watch the blood go like a little whale, like the whale fucking when they, I don't know what the fuck it's called. I'm not a whale expert.
Blowhole.
A blowhole, but like it looks like that, but just like a little blood blowhole. Like, fucking grim, man.
Dude, the way that like the fucking DAZN logo looked like somebody had polka dotted it, or at the end when that. Like Cruz's blood was on Serrano's face, and then Serrano hugged her trainer,
and he just had it smeared
all up his face,
and then proceeded to wipe Serrano's face first.
Wipe your own face. There's Serrano's point. I'm like, oh, you got a little bit of blood there. Right?
There's a bit of blood from another person that I've just beaten the shit out of for 20 minutes on your face.
Again, just fucking all heart for the Cruz. I don't feel like Cruz ever made it super interesting, but she made it scrappy.
Well, that's interesting in my book.
What do you mean? Yeah, it was an interesting fight, but I don't think like you were ever like, oh, Cruz could take this. Like,
all right, yeah, 100%. But let me preface that comment by saying the first 4 to 5 rounds it wasn't interesting because you're just like, okay, she's just gonna get clipped at some point and go out.
Yeah.
Once it went past 5 rounds and she was just bleeding profusely from her face, staggering back to her corner, I was just like, what is happening here?
Yeah,
it's like this is literally the Mexican female Terminator.
Yeah, I don't think you could a shotgun would have put her down that fucking night.
Just there walking back to the corner, like blood fucking just like pissing out of her head.
Dude.
And can we just talk about the fucking corner work for a second from Cruz's corner? Like, there was no putting the adrenaline or nothing in. It was just like, all right, you're a towel. All right, we'll keep the pressure there.
That's so.
Right, the fucking little whistle's gone for 10 seconds. Vaso on the forehead. Back out you go, sweetheart.
Yeah,
and then the old mate was standing next to her, just fucking spinning the towel around.
Yeah.
Woo!
The old dude that probably shouldn't have been there in the fucking first place. We were sus on him being there.
He's like wrapping it up so he can like smack her in the forehead with it to like agitate it more.
Oh, I mean,
I see. Like if you haven't got any blood left in your head to bleed, then there won't be any more blood coming out.
No more's gonna come out. It's gonna be fine.
Trust me.
Did you bleed enough last night? Fucking hell.
Trust me, I've done this before. Didn't your last 4, like, you know, people that you train die in the ring? Yeah, but don't worry about that.
Yeah, they didn't die from a cut. Blunt force trauma.
Fuck.
Oh,
it's so visceral.
Serrano fucking throwing heat though. That was a fucking. I wanted to see her go to the uppercut. I was calling for the uppercut. She obviously couldn't hear me over the crowd, but I was calling for that uppercut. I feel
Puerto Ricans get fucking rowdy, man.
They do, but I feel like she might have been able to, because like Cruz would like dip her head right down, no protection. I feel like if Serrano made that read and started like really digging into uppercuts, she might have fucked her up more.
She probably could have got around a bit, just with the pure amount of like punches like received and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like she was just lacking like that, like kind of like Cruz to put herself into a spot where she could be knocked out. Whereas like she hit her with some good shots. The cut confuses me. Cruz's forehead hit Serrano pretty much like on the eye socket, and Cruz got a cut out of it. Fuck, Serrano must have a hard head.
But like some people,
Serrano like up here.
No, she hit it like fucking. Like,
some people, especially like different cultures as well, have just different bone structures.
Yeah.
If you look at the way that Serrano's face is structured, it's extremely narrow, and the bones in the front of her face are extremely prominent. They stick out a bit. Her brow sticks out a little bit more. She's got like bigger like bones on the side of her skull here, and her cheekbones are quite large and prominent.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, and especially as well, if you look at them, it's like it feels like the wrong way to describe it, but they look sharp. It's the same way that like you look at Tony Ferguson's elbows, and they look like they're pointy.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Just like some people just have different bone structures in certain points. So yeah, I think that was literally it. It was like it was a soft part of Cruz's head that ran into a hard part of Serrano's head.
Fucking caused a fucking gash, eh?
And that is a weird, like you said, it's a weird place to get cut to because it was like right up here.
I feel like she had 2 by the end. I can't remember I feel like the first one might have been lower, like there, and then like she had one up in her hairline by the end as well.
The one that was up in her hairline was the one that was bleeding profusely, though.
Yeah, there was one like right on her hairline, and then there was one back a bit. Like you couldn't see like either of them.
Yeah.
So it's like it was the one that was right at the front that was just piercing out with blood.
Yeah. But fucking absolute warrior effort from her to go through what she did, and then absolute fucking just display from Serrano. Like I said during the fight companion yesterday, like Serrano loves those dog fights, man. It's what she tried to drag Taylor into for the entire 10 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell that's where she's like got good boxing on the outside, but if it goes to the inside, she thrives. She's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, gotta go in here and have a fucking scrap. Let's do it.
That's it, man. Those Puerto Ricans are scrappy.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
But like we said earlier on in the notes, it has been announced and it's set up. Fucking Taylor versus Serrano too.
That's a fucking fight. Like I said, I'll watch that every day. I don't give a fuck. Never get boring to me. Yeah, that's huge. I bet it's huge.
I don't think we're going to be able to hear the commentators.
Nah, not in fucking Dublin. Fucking no
No.
chance.
God, no, man. I can't, like, I'd love to just like hit the lotto and take us all over there and just be in that stadium.
Oh, it'd be fucking nuts.
There will literally be no atmosphere like it.
So DAZN will get that card, right?
It's, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, you would assume so. They did the last one.
Well,
because Serrano's
he'd be
Serrano's
working with Eddie.
Serrano's promoted by Jake Paul.
Yeah.
So she's not, once again, she's like a U6 situation. She's got like a manager and a promoter, but she's not signed to any like network or anything like that.
Yeah.
So she sort of floats.
Yeah, you got to imagine.
Because that was top rank the other night. So yeah, she just sort of works with whoever.
Yeah.
Was it top? No, it was
no, that was the DAZN. Top rank was Navarette.
Well, yeah. So like, even though there's like a lawsuit going on between Eddie Hearn and Jake Paul, they still have a good working relationship in that sense, which is another thing you've got to respect Jake Paul for.
Yeah, having like good business, like
just good enough business acumen to like still like give his fighters the best fights in a good place where everybody's going to see them.
Yeah. Yeah. What's Eddie suing him for saying that all fights are rigged and shit?
Yeah, which is, and Eddie, he was on, once again bringing up Ariel Helwani, he was on the MMA Hour this week while he was like over here doing all the stuff for the fight, and he explained it in, you know, like decent enough terms. He was like, there's just certain shit that I won't stand for.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the line where it is. And he's like, if I don't show people that this is the line, then everyone will just constantly say, oh, his fights are rigged. He does this, he does that.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't dislike him. He's like, I dislike what he said. And he needs to understand that there's consequences to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like essentially saying that like Matchroom or Bodgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is just shitting on, everything Eddie's fucking built. Yeah, I find it good that they can keep like a working relationship because, fuck, it means fights like this are gonna happen.
We're probably in for another like contender for fight of the year with this one.
Fuck yeah, 100%. I'd like to see Jake and Eddie stay out of it more this time around. Like no one gives a fuck about your $1 million bet. Let the women fight. Stop taking.
Well, he wasn't there this week. Specifically because of that.
Yeah.
There was some other dude that was like there in all the promo photos and shit like that. It must be like some dude that co-promotes with Jake Paul. But yeah, Jake Paul's obviously he's like heavily in training camp kind of thing, but he specifically wasn't at that event because like they didn't want to have anything between them.
Yeah, which
hopefully they do stay out of it. You're right. It's about Serrano and Taylor.
Yeah, like last time they kind of made it about themselves. Like the girls before the fight, the girls kind of got outshined by like these two making bets on them, and until the actual fight happened, and everyone was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
But I don't think the way that, like the reaction afterwards is purely due to the fight itself and the spectacle that those two ladies put on.
Yeah, that's
like
what I mean.
Now,
like before the fight, it was like all eyes on Eddie and Jake. Then as soon as the fight happened, it shifted because everyone was like, "Oh, that fight was amazing."
Yes.
Whereas like beforehand, it's like it didn't get the promotion it nearly deserved, I don't think.
100%. And we're gonna talk about something like that later anyway. But before we get into our fucking absolutely huge breakdown of UFC 284, let's talk about what the fuck happened yesterday.
Before we get into the main event, I want to touch on Do Hoi Choi, the Korean Superboy. He's like a young Korean fighter. Got ripped the fuck off. He was in like in guard, and he was like using his forehead. You know how you see in UFC if they're in guard, they'll like use their forehead to like kind of push themselves into position.
Yeah.
He like, it wasn't a headbutt, but like as he was trying to do that, he like the other guy like pulled him into him a bit, so he kind of like a tiny head clash. They took a point off the Korean fighter, and then the fight turned into a draw. But at the end of the fight, Dana was like, fuck that. That didn't deserve to have a point taken, but he can't overrule it. But he just gave this guy his full purse, like his to show and to win money.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it was like, I feel like the ref, I don't know, I'm torn on it because it's like, it's good as soon as a foul happens to just be like, point. No warnings, fucking point. That way, like, you're not getting people that know, like, oh, I can fucking get away with doing this once or twice. It's like, as soon as fucking something happens, take the fucking point. Whatever. But, I don't know. It kind of ruined that fucking fight because it was like a pretty fucking, it was like his first fight back since fucking ages. Like, he fought Cub Swanson years ago. It was like fight of the year contender. And then the way Korea works is he had to go back after that fight and go fight for his military. And it's like, you don't get a choice. You have to go spend the years there. And then as soon as that's finished, you're allowed to go do what you want again. So, like, he came back. I'm pretty sure this was his first fight back. And he got, raw dogged. Pretty fucking
True,
hard.
that's right. Same thing happened to Korean Zombie, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like what they do. Like, it's like highly frowned upon if he was to be like, nah, I'm just going to keep fighting in the UFC and not do that. Like, something bad would happen. He'd probably get locked up or something, I can imagine.
It's not a fucking bad thing, man. I honestly kind of wish we had it over here, to be honest.
I'd be going to jail. Fine for this
Yeah,
shit.
but like you don't have to go to war. It's literally just like a year. Like you just do like 2 years of training. You get paid for it, dude. No, so I didn't mean to say America. I meant to say Army. Army money is tax free. If you make $40,000 in the Army, you make $40,000. That's it.
Imagine taxing it. Oh, you're fucking doing this shit for us. Give us more money.
So
Give us
yeah,
the
but it's something I wouldn't have done as an 18-year-old, as a 30-year-old man who's actually like sort of like become invested in, especially like that Navy SEAL culture and just military culture in itself. Like, it's something I'd actually like really like to experience.
Yeah, I'd do it on my own wheel though. I wouldn't be like my country, like you have to do this. You fucking suck on my left nut. How does that fucking sound? You faggots.
Do we have a third co-host?
Yeah. He's over there spinning.
There he is. I just looked at him like, why am I looking at a ceiling fan?
I'll make you dizzy.
His head's spinning. But yeah, I don't know how we got so sidetracked there, but that's fucking that's right. We started talking about the co-main or one of the prelim fights. But yeah, let's move on to the main event of the UFC fight night yesterday.
I seen a stat.
Pretty.
I seen a stat, right?
Mm.
Derek Lewis landed 0. That's 0 anything. Didn't land a punch, didn't land a kick, didn't land a takedown, didn't have any control time, nothing. He had it was like what? Looking at the side of his panel, it was like 0 out of 8 punches landed. 0 out of 3 kicks landed. Like he landed nothing. It was like you know how in like Tekken you have like a perfect fight and it's like says it at the end, like perfect.
Yeah.
The other guy had a perfect fight. Didn't get touched.
Like that. I don't know. It was weird.
Derek just doesn't have it anymore. Like I like him as a person. I like him as a fighter. He just doesn't have the drive anymore. You can tell. As soon as something goes bad in a fight, he's just like, I'm done.
That's exactly right. He got taken down. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, just like some of them takedowns was like, I don't know. It just looks like sloppy. Like he just gave the fuck up and fell over.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it right now. He gave up the head and arm triangle. He rolled into it. He literally lazily rolled over and just gave up the position and got choked out. It's the same as like when he fought Tuivasa. You watch the strikes that Tuivasa hit him with. Derek didn't go out. He just gave up, fell over.
You reckon?
100%. Watch him. He's still all with it. Like he's not out. You can see he's like still got his fucking bearings with him, and I just feel like he just doesn't have the drive anymore. I don't know, that's like scary to see. Like you're fighting the hardest hitters in the world, and you like don't have the drive to be in there with them.
Yeah, like with the smallest gloves, you got 4-ounce gloves on. Like, you've been hit with sparred someone wearing UFC gloves.
Yeah, they hurt. They fucking suck.
It hurts when you get hit.
Yeah, it's like just getting hit by like someone with their hands wrapped, like barely any fucking padding.
I don't think that's his problem. I think his problem is everything else that comes with it.
Yeah, well, yeah, he has come out and said he doesn't like fighting in his hometown, and
no, I think he like just doesn't like the actual mixed. Like, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that likes getting kicked in the fucking shins or getting grabbed and taken down and choked and shit like that. Derek Lewis might be better off just quitting the UFC and go and fight bare knuckle.
I honestly, like, after the fight yesterday when I said I'd like to see him give it up, I honestly would, but that's like coming from a fan, and I'd like to see him go over to bare knuckle boxing because he is going to kill someone, and I want to watch it. It's gonna be dope.
Even like just some form of like boxing, really.
Fucking go let him box fucking Logan Paul. I don't fucking care. Just don't let him go get kicked in the face. I don't need to see that.
Like fucking, I'll watch Derek Lewis versus Paul Gallen.
Oh, fuck yes. Fuck yeah.
I don't know, it just popped into my head like just then.
That's a fucking fun fucking fight. And like
I've seen Derek Lewis. Not Derek. I've seen fucking Mark Hunt versus fucking Paul Gallen. Why can't I watch Derek Lewis?
Yeah, fuck it.
But can I also say that cunt that he versed yesterday? That was like the first time I'd like properly watched him. He's huge.
Yeah,
Spivak.
He's a big man
for 250 pounds. Like ridiculous, just stocky, like
just big man. Like, he made like. Derek Lewis was like 265 and he was like 255 or something. And he made Derek Lewis look small, man. Not many people make Derek Lewis look fucking tiny.
When's the last time you've seen somebody throw Derek Lewis around like that?
Yeah, never. Like, he could be dangerous for that weight division, man. He could be dangerous at heavyweight.
That's it, man. Like, even if he gets a hold of somebody like John Jones, like, that's a fucking bad night for Jones.
Like, it's a bad night for anybody. Like, I feel like Jones is probably the person who can, like, threaten him the most because, like, John Jones's, like, ground game is great.
Yeah,
like,
high level.
Yeah, but, like, Spivak made, like, as I was just saying, he made Derek Lewis look tiny, man. And, like, Derek Lewis is not a small man. Like,
not at all. Even with the weight loss that he went through, and like, yeah, he still came in at 265, and he's not short at all.
Like, he like dwarfed Derek Lewis nearly, man. Like when they were like in the center of the ring, and I was looking at the height difference.
It's exactly like you said. Like, I didn't realize that he was that big until they were standing right next to one another. I was like, holy fuck, man!
Yeah, he's a big man.
Exactly like Griff said, his nickname's a polar bear. Like, he's literally a fucking polar bear.
But like
big white.
But like, you know, when you like before the fight, they have like that promo shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like we see, but like normally you'll see someone and you'll go, "Fuck, that's a big man." Like I didn't think that at all, and then I seen him next to Derek Lewis, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like he's huge.
He's massive.
Like even when some people are just sitting there and they're like talking, you can like just see it like in their shoulders and whatnot. Like he didn't look like that big until he was like in front of like Lewis, and then he like actually looked like physically imposing.
It's the same concept as when like you see Pereira's stats and you're like, oh yeah, like 6 something, 100 and whatever pounds, and then he walks into the octagon and you're like, that man is 6'5", 240.
Yeah,
what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, like you look at him in that fight, like he didn't look that big next to Izzy because Izzy is 6'4", like is 6'4". So he's like tall as fuck for that weight class anyway.
Yeah.
But then, like you see him next to someone like Dominic Reyes,
who's a light heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Reyes looked tiny compared to Pereira.
Yeah,
dude. Did you see the size difference between him and Jamal Hill?
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And he's a light heavyweight champion.
He's a light heavyweight
scary.
champion who came in on 2 weeks' notice, so he wasn't like in best condition either.
Yeah.
Like Pereira is fucking monstrous compared to them.
Yeah, it's fucking
But yeah,
scary, eh?
but yeah, Spivak was, yeah, exactly, just so much bigger and so much more dominant than what I thought he was. And his stats are fucking scary too, because he has like the equal amount of submission. He's got 7 and 7 now, 7 submissions, 7 knockouts.
Yeah.
And all of his knockouts are early.
Well, I think that was his 16th fight or something. And that takes him to like 16 finishes in 17 fight, like in his 17 wins. He's lost one or something. He's lost one or something. So he must have lost like his first or second fight.
Yeah, like lost early and then gone on a run after that.
Yeah, like he's finished like what now would be 15 of his last 16 opponents. Like that's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, that guy is fucking terrifying for the rest of the division.
Like,
As
I was saying, no one at that weight division's a wrestler.
I'd like to see Spivak versus Garn.
Like even Garn's like a striker. Like
yeah, but I just think Garn has that natural, like, I think he's naturally strong enough to be able to like maybe deter him that little bit. Plus, he has just very crisp striking in the sense that like Spivak won't just be able to come in there like he did and just grab a hold of Garn like he did with Lewis. Like if he tries to do that, Garn's going to step back and fucking crack him.
Yeah, but he's got that like weird ass hip toss thing that he can do too, and like Garn showed that he's not that great with the ground, and Garnu was able to take him down and just dominate him.
Yeah, that's true.
And like Garnu isn't known for having any form of wrestling at all.
And Garnu's just a genetic freak, though.
Yeah, and like it just seems like that Spivak bloke. Like I know Derek Lewis seemed like he gave up, but once he got hold of Lewis, man, he did not let the fuck go. Like Lewis did try to fucking get out of it for a bit, for probably a minute or so there,
and he managed.
And then, like he got back to his feet and whatnot, but like every time, Spivak just like it was like watching fucking a huge fucking Habib. He just didn't let go.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying is so. No, sorry, you go.
No, I was just agreeing with the point.
That's why I believe he's so scary for the division, because like he comes out against somebody like Derek Lewis who could put his lights out if he really wanted to and just goes, I'm just going to do this. And he's proficient enough to just go, I'm just going to hold you down and strangle you. And then he could pretty much work exactly the opposite. Like he's got as many knockouts as he does fucking submission finishes. If he goes in against a grappler or somebody who is grappling heavy, he's just going to turn and go, oh, I'm just going to put your fucking lights out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a great deal. Is Curtis Blades still in the UFC?
I'm not sure.
Because he's like,
didn't he have a fight and wasn't he having a fight and that bloke fucking blew his knee out or some shit?
Was that Blades?
Yeah.
From Aspinall or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that was versus Curtis Blades, wasn't it?
Because Blades has good wrestling. He's like a good wrestler. So that could be like a potential exciting matchup.
I feel like Spivak's going to make him look tiny too.
Yeah, yeah. Like, Blades looked tiny against Lewis. So against Spivak, he's probably going to look like a fucking middleweight.
Yeah, I just seriously can't get over how. Yeah, like I thought there was a big size difference, and all of a sudden he gets in here. What the fuck? Where did this white boy come from?
Yeah, like I thought there was going to be like I thought they were going to be like sort of pretty evenly matched, and then I seen like the thing for the like at the weigh-in in the little promo short before it. And I was like, fuck me, that country's huge. And then they were in the fucking octagon. And I was like, damn, that's a big boy.
It's from Moldova.
Yeah,
I have no idea where the fuck that is, but
one of
pretty big over there.
One of 3 active Moldovan fighters or something that said on the screen yesterday.
What?
There's 3 of them. I don't know how big the others are, but
I bet they're all just as terrifying. One of them's a fucking like a featherweight that's like 6'7", fucking.
This somehow makes it down. What the fuck?
The Sebastian Fundora of the fucking UFC.
Yeah. Just comes into the weigh-ins like a rake, comes in the next day looking like Arnold straight out of the fucking Arnold Classics. Like, what the fuck?
This is fuck. Yeah, it's interesting the way Spivak goes next from there, because obviously the belt's pretty well lined up. Aspinall's probably still in rehab.
But like he's not in a bad spot. I mean,
No, he's up near the top of the list.
the heavyweight title, like he's beat Derek Lewis, who he was 7th, so now Spivak could take his place.
Yeah.
Like, what you've got the heavyweight title in March. So like he's only 8 weeks out. Like his schedule lines up with whoever wins the belt.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, outside of Garn, now when Garnu's gone, if Stipe isn't coming back, because I haven't heard really much about what the fuck Stipe. I know he wanted the Jones fight, but is he going to come back?
I feel like Stipe is going to try to take the winner of Jones and Garn.
Well, like, where does Spivak go though? Who else is there? Like, there's Curtis Blades. That's probably
Yeah.
there's that, and then probably either Garn or Jones, I'd say.
Yeah. There's not a great deal happening. Like, there's lots of good heavyweights, but like the pitch has been like so directed on Jones's comeback that you like kind of forget who even fucking else is in the top 5.
Yeah, and I was seeing yesterday, like Spivak's choked out Tuivasa before, so like there's
So he's now ranked number 8.
8. Have the
Yeah,
rankings
because
changed?
Derek Lewis was 8. It hasn't changed technically, but I know that's how it works in the sense of he's 11th and he beat Lewis, so he's like now takes
Lewis
8.
8.
Yeah.
All right, I thought they said yesterday it was 7.
So in front of Spivak, you still have Alexander Volkov. Is Volkov? No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Tuivasa's at 6. Aspinall's at 5. Sergey Pavlovich. Pavlovich is that dude that fucking flatlined Tuivasa in like 40 seconds. So fucking Pavlovich versus Spivak.
That's a fun fight, yeah.
That's a fucking barn burner of a fight. Curtis Blades is still active. He's the number 3 ranked heavyweight.
Okay, that's interesting too. Yeah.
Spivak said yesterday, I want someone top 5. So
Sergey's top 5.
I think it's either got to be that Sergey dude or Blades that they give to Spivak next, because it's like, yeah, to keep him up in that contention of like the moving top 5.
it's one of Aspinall's done his ACL, so
he's out for a while.
That's like 12 months there in your ACL.
And it's one of those things as well. It's like even Derek Lewis being on the slide that he's on and being ranked 8th, he's still Derek Lewis. So once you've beaten somebody like that, you now need to fight that higher caliber of fighter for people to still respect you.
Yeah, you can't go from Lewis to like back down and fight like the number 11th ranked person.
No.
Yeah, no, but and he's not someone you can do that to either. I think he just dominates anybody that's like outside of the top 10 easily.
Yeah. But yeah, look what he did to a fucking unmotivated Lewis. So just
exactly. Like unmotivated, but still Derek Lewis at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, like we'll still put you out if he fucking lands.
But he doesn't go for that same sort of takedown that Curtis, like he doesn't shoot for the double leg or that Spivak because he's so big. He just gets close and then hits him with that like hip toss.
Yeah, he uses his weight for his advantage.
Yeah, I think he can't get into that that danger match there with Lewis, like what Blades did.
Yeah,
like as if Lewis is able to time the shot, you're going the fuck out.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, yeah, he showed that with Blades. Like when Blades went in for the double leg, he just timed the uppercut and Blades fucking crumbled.
That's one of the scariest knockouts of all time.
Yeah.
Just the way that he's just like, yeah,
it's fucking bad, eh?
Like cartoon level shit.
That and Ngannou's knockout over him are probably 2 of the best knockouts.
Yeah, that one's scary.
Yeah, that one like actually like makes me like quiver inside. It's like, oh.
He nearly punched his head off. Like,
dude.
His head nearly came off. And
just the way that like over him is just, he's a fucking cadaver on the mat for like 2 minutes.
He come off the ground, bro. Like he got hit and his feet like lifted off the deck.
Yeah.
That's how fucking hard Ngannou punched the cunt.
Yeah. It's
and yeah, just the instant, like his body just instantly goes into like rigor mortis. He's just,
like there's like a minute after he's been laying on the ground, like you hear Joe Rogan on the commentary. He's like, look at over him. His toes are still curled over, like he's been like hit with the electric chair.
Dude, his arms are still up like this. Like, he's still laying there like.
It's just scary that one man can have that much power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And that man's talking about going to bare knuckle boxing.
it wasn't even like a real wind up on the shot. He just like sort of pulled like half back and then just threw like a weird like half uppercut sort of fucking hook looking thing and just belted over him fucking into the next dimension.
Fuck yeah. Dude.
Fucking split his lip like somebody took a fucking scalpel to it.
Oh
That
yeah.
was nasty, eh? Wait, was that fight or a different fight?
That was that fight. I'm positive it was that fight.
I think it might have been a different one.
No.
Because
I don't know, I'll have to
Overeem
look
was
into that.
Overeem was like moving around after the fight.
Was that Overeem versus like Rosenstrike or something?
Nah, yeah, you are right. That's the one.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing Overeem moving around. That's the only reason I was like, I don't know.
Well, speaking of
Yeah.
scary knockouts, fucking Ngannou versus Rosenstrike was terrifying.
Yeah.
Literally just gets kicked in the leg once and goes, I'm not doing that for 25 minutes. I'm going to take your fucking face off.
Yeah.
I
And
was
literally just flurried him. I'm like, yeah.
There was no technique. He just like ran in like
Yeah.
Just like,
Zero.
fucking-
But that shot that he catches him with, where he just hits him there, and old mate's skull just forms around Ngannou's face. Like, oh, fuck.
Fuck getting hit by that man.
Dude, did you guys watch the fucking last Jackass movie? Harold McGee, he got punched and kicked in the dick. Versus Ngannou.
My favorite thing about that is that they told him it was going to be a featherweight. So someone like Cub Swanson or something, they were like, oh, it won't be that bad. And then he walks around the corner and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's all I remember from the promos. He's just like so disappointed. He's like, that's not a featherweight.
Yeah. So fucking.
He's like full making Ngannou come around the corner in gear, shirtless.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck?
That poor Kano. Imagine that stitch up. You're like, I can take a shot from a featherweight. It shouldn't be too bad. Francis walks around. You'd be like, oh.
Dude, I'd be like really like 75% like sure that I couldn't take it from a featherweight. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
the Incredible Hulk straight out of fucking Santa Leone, fucking North Africa, walks around the corner. You're just like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be fuck. Fuck that.
I've
Props-
actually seen the footage, but fuck, I do and I don't want to see the kick. He had a cup on, but still, that doesn't matter.
Nah.
I think Garner looks big just like looking at him on the TV. Imagine him like walking around the corner at you.
Dude, that's the other thing too. Like, he wasn't like cut for fight weight or nothing. That's a fucking 290-pound Francis Ngannou.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking creeping onto 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally like one of the biggest, fittest men on the planet.
Yeah, that's fucking fuck that, dude. Props to the guy for still taking it though. He was still like, whatever. Fuck that. I would have been like, fuck off.
Bro, they've come this far. Like, what else? Like, do you honestly think that any of them have any fucking like function left between like below the waist?
Yeah, probably fucking not, to be fair.
I
Probably,
swear Johnny Knoxville just fucks his wife with a strap on. There's no way his dick works.
yeah, probably not. I don't know. Johnny, reach out, let us know if your dick works in the comments. Send us a photo.
Oh, fucking hell. Alrighty. Let's move on to the fucking analysis that we're going to have for this fucking huge event that's happening on the weekend.
Okay, give me 2 seconds here because I did just pull the card up because there's a few fights on the undercard to keep an eye out for.
Well, you list them while I go to the bathroom because you and Fruby would most likely know a lot more about those prelim fights, but I want to talk about a couple on the main.
Okay, so Tyson Pedro's fighting again. Definitely cool to keep an eye out for him.
The Aussie fella?
Yeah, Aussie boy. He fights a welterweight, I
It's like
think.
Samoan. It's like a Samoan or
Yeah, he's got like
Yeah.
the tribal tattoos. and
yeah,
that.
he's like I think him and like two of us are like brother-in-laws or some shit.
Yeah, they're definitely close in some degree. So he's
Yeah,
fighting someone. He looks like his last name's Bukaki. Bukakis? So I think it's multiple Bukakis that he's fighting. He's fighting a couple of them. But yeah,
Or something like that.
I swear it's just Bukaki.
Oh.
Bukauskas. Bukakis. It's such a weird name, bro. But yeah, that's a fun fight to keep an eye out for. Jimmy Crute who's another fun fighter. He's got a pretty gangster mullet as well. He's fighting someone Menfield. That's a fun fight to keep an eye out for. Jack Della Medellana, I believe his name is. His last name.
Oh, yes.
Another fun fight.
The bloke that I spoke about in the like one of my prospects at the end of our final episode last year.
Okay.
He's coming off like